Well, hey there, I'm Arlo Anemone, and I'm here to tell the real story of how the big old hole in the ocean becomes a beautiful island ring. It's called an atoll, and it all starts with a bang. A million years ago, deep under the ocean, a volcano burst up from the seafloor. Kaboom! Lava piled up higher and higher until it broke through the water and made a brand new volcanic island. Say hi, island. Hi, island. Now along comes my buddies, the corals. Tiny little critters that build big stony homes together. They start forming a fringing reef right around the island like a warm hug. But uh-oh, that old volcanic island starts sinking real slow like back into the sea. No need to panic. Those coral keep on building up like an ever-ending elevator. Pretty soon there's a wide old lagoon between the reef and the island. Now it's called a barrier reef because it's built like a fence all around. And then, poof, the island sinks all the way down. But all those hard-working corals, well, they built a perfect ring of reef with a lagoon in the middle. And that, my friends, is an atoll. So remember, every atoll out there used to be a fiery mountain hugged by corals and sculpted by time. Nature's got some real refreshing tricks up its sleeve. See you next tide.
On Kwajalein, weather impacts everything from daily routines to mission operations. We visited the RTS weather station and spoke with Aaron Brundridge, chief meteorologist, to learn how his team tracks conditions and helps keep the island informed.
We provide basically either mission weather or standard operating conditions weather for just basically what goes on in the day, keep people safe from lightning and outflow winds and so forth like that, putting the forecasts out. So for missions, with the ones that we get here, what we will primarily do is provide support for the sensors. So that's it. It's mainly a lot of precipitation, cloud tops, cloud bases, but how much rain's falling on them is their greatest concern. Besides the mission part, we're in the garrison community. The main concern here, even though we don't get a lot of thunderstorm days a year, is obviously thunder and lightning, mainly because we're the only game in town. We're the highest thing around, so lightning obviously looks for that path of least resistance. Arrows are very good at resisting the dielectric breakdown. So that's the biggest one. Wind events, west winds, we're concerned about that for the harbor folks. Small boats get crashed up against their piers and moorings that they're at because there's no protection from winds coming in. We do get west winds every once in a while here, mainly in the summertime and in El Nino years. Outflow winds, gusty outflows, these big, huge rain clouds will form, cumulus type clouds will form. All the air comes crashing down, spreads out, and gives us these really gusty winds for a brief period of time. We want to forecast for those. We have products to forecast for that. It's never just going to sneak up on us. Other things, typhoons, tsunamis. Tsunamis aren't a major deal here. They're a bigger deal actually for the lagoon side of the house, but not a big deal because we have a very deep littoral zone here. It gets deep quickly, so that absorbs some of the energy. So those are what we do. Those two main facets: garrison support, safety, protect people, protect facilities, or at least get the warnings out so people will be ready for them, and mission weather. So roughly around 11:01 local, we'll launch the balloon, and that's called a synoptic sounding. Synoptic means all over the world, people are launching at this time, and it's based off London's time, universal time. We sent up a balloon, and I'll show you what it is. This is when it's packaged right here. We have various sizes. This is a 300-gram balloon here, and we'll take it, we'll inflate it with helium in a Connex box, tie it off, and we will attach 10 meters away from it a radio sawn, and you can see these components here that will send back signals to our telemetry, send back the data that we need. And this is like we are there. It's in situ data. It will give us exactly all the things that we would need to produce what we call a vertical column in the atmosphere. If we have a good sounding, we'll go to about 31,000 meters on this. So over 100,000 feet, we will get all of the part of the atmosphere that a meteorologist would be interested in having. So it's quite a trip. This thing will actually go through a very cold layer of the atmosphere down to minus 60, minus 70 degrees. It's hard to believe it can get that cold before it starts getting warm again as it moves into the ozone. So that's what's going up right now. And if I go to our live data feed here, we can actually track everything live. We know what the temperature is, where that sun is right now at 5,800 meters. It is -4 degrees Celsius there right now. So all that's coming in, you can see this ticker going up here with everything's in meters because the world needs meters to feed into all the computers. These data will go into the supercomputers that produce a lot of forecasts. And one of the valuable things about what we do here is this is a very data poor environment, which means there aren't a lot of people looking at the weather on this part of the world. So our data is very valuable along with Majuro. We're the only game in town. So you think of the RMI, roughly the entire area would cover the state of Missouri, and you only have 2 weather stations launching sondes. So the National Weather Service, the World Meteorological Organization, they love to get our data because they can feed that in the computers, especially as we get to typhoon season. We can see what's happening in situ, meaning not generated by a computer model. It's actually this sensor is touching what's up there and giving us real data, which will feed into that. So we have some graphs on here, and it shows us temperature and dew point. These are important. Where they are close together, that's where the clouds are. Today, we didn't go through any clouds, so these did not touch each other. Dew point is simply the temperature at which a cloud will form. So if you're watching TV and I say it's 86 degrees with a dew point of 77, and you see a cloud base, that is where, at that cloud base, it's 77 degrees, and that's what the dew point refers to. You probably have heard that and always wondered what that is.
Big thanks to Aaron Brundridge and the RTS Weather Station team for giving us a behind-the-scenes look at how they keep Kwajalein prepared, rain or shine.
Yakwe como tata.
Yahweh, the Marshallese word of the day is legay. In English, legay means trust or trustworthy. In my culture, I trust or legay my traditional leaders with everything.
As we all know, the Marshallese word is leke. I'll try my best to make an example out of it. Is leke yok? What I mean is, I trust you. Como tata, imba le yok.
Pest control is a vital part of keeping Kwajalein clean, healthy, and safe for everyone. From mosquitoes that spread disease to termites that silently damage buildings, these pests can cause serious problems if left unchecked.
Out there we have ants, fire ants, and mosquito. Lately, wasp. We treat with granules, baiting, and occasionally spraying. With this weather we have, they grow. They don't have to go dormant. So when we go out on the street, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes after, so it's rained on. We have to do it again. DOD certification classes are required for each to be certified. DOD have objectives for any program to create a integrated pest management plan, which is combining of several control. Biological control, which is using one living organism to treat other. Mechanical is using traps. No grass should be longer than 4 inches. So that's regulatory control. Last resort is chemical control, which is using all sorts of chemical available. When you have food in your trash, you gotta tie it tight so no flies can go in and lay eggs. When it's raining, people complain about ants because they find their way inside. So the best way to prevent is to seal any holes around the windows. I know fire ants, southern fire ants are not native species. These wasps are not native species, so nothing out of ordinary. Most people think when we go into offices and residence areas, they think all of our chemicals are potent. Way to expose is to understand what kind of chemical is that.
There you go. All right.
Hey, we are for you. You need any help, just call 480-3550 and we'll come take care for you.
With our tropical climate and frequent rainfall, Kwaj is the perfect breeding ground for insects and rodents. That's why regular inspections, proper waste management, and community cooperation are so important. Working together, we can protect our island home from unwanted invaders, one sweep at a time.
I am been in the military for 27 years. My intent was to just join and do one term, but 27 years I'm still here. The reason that I joined, I have 8 uncles. Out of the 8, 5 of those served, and all of them are great people, and I just wanted to follow in their footsteps.
I started off as an armor officer, never on tanks, so kind of started off on an odd path and then became a Army Space Operations Officer in 2009. Not an astronaut, just a space ops guy. I don't think I'd pass some of the testing there to get in, but and really 2009 was the first time that I heard about this place and kind of been fascinated by it ever since. And then Kate and I, we came here. We spent the last 4 years in Germany by way of Pennsylvania for about 8 months for a school. And I think we've been here a little over 2 months now. So it's been great so far. There's a lot of familiar faces in the crowd, which is good, but there's also a lot of faces I don't know. So that means I still got some work to do in getting to know you all.